No one's arguing with the OPA's audit on the Department of Corrections. The island's prison is, in fact, in a poor state. But until additional appropriations are made and legislation is passed, DepCor can't make any improvements. That's why the executive branch has been asked to step in.
The Blue Ribbon Panel, I think, is an opportunity for us to bring stakeholders together.
In his response letter to Public Auditor Doris Flores-Brooks, DOC Director Jose San Agustin called on the governor to form a Blue Ribbon Commission, a group comprised of criminal justice stakeholders to address the prison's growing pains. Although Senator Brant McCready introduced two bills aimed at the design, build, and operation of a new prison facility, both were never heard on session floor. According to Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, the newly formed commission would address this in addition to McCready's announcement that he will once again introduce the legislation once inaugurated into the 33rd Guam legislature.
So I think these are really intelligent things to do, to sit down with the legislature and say, look, if you don't want to do this, then what do you want to do? If the stakeholders in the community, the people who have to deal with the criminal justice process, the judiciary, we all need to sit down and talk about where we're going to go as an island into the next year or even the next 10 years.
In her report, the public auditor cites the prison may be operating 192% over capacity. With over 700 prisoners to date, DOCs had to settle with makeshift arrangements to cope with the prisoner influx. They've done so by housing up to 4 prisoners in one-man cells and converting spaces like the library, classrooms, and offices into open bay systems.
But the reality is the confines and the bad design, if you will, because we've done a piecemeal approach to increasing the capacity of the Department of Corrections, hasn't been done in a very efficient way.
Overall, there's plenty of optimism looking ahead as Tenorio says DepCor is making progress in getting out from under a 20-year-old stipulated agreement by addressing its sprinkler system, locking mechanisms, and medical and dental needs. Should GovGuam invest in a new prison, he says it would solve many facility-related issues at a much cheaper price than federal receivership.
We know that the threat is there. We've been doing everything in our power to overcome. We've accomplished many of the things that we were set out to do in the first 4 years to get out from under the stipulated agreement.
But it's not enough to make a bigger prison, as the prison's overcrowding is a community issue.
It's been a community problem. The Department of Corrections is just the recipient of the community problem. When a person goes to school and doesn't get an education, and then they find later on in life that they can't rely on the society to be able to get them where they want to be, they resort to crime, they get arrested, they go to DOC, they're detained, they're incarcerated for the period of time that they're sentenced. And so they're on the receiving end of the community's problems. So Department of Corrections is not the solution.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.